Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome. Good to see you all. My name is Ruth. This is the ABCs of tongue types that we are talking about this morning. Trying to get my phone set up here. I will wait just a few minutes, give everybody an opportunity to come in. I know it's early in the morning. I got good sleep last night. I hope you all did too. Got your morning coffee or on your way to work, whatever it is that you are typically doing early in the mornings. It is Wednesday, hump day, and I'm excited. We're midway through the week and good stuff to come, So I hope everyone is doing well. I'll wait just another minute. So this morning we are talking about the quarreling tongue. Now, I don't know about you all, but it absolutely drives me crazy. I have to argue with people. Like, I absolutely hate to argue with people. I find it to be very energy consuming, very mentally distracting when I'm trying to, focus on something or just rest and relax. And I find it to be emotionally draining. So those are not things that I typically like to suffer from. And when I am dealing with an argumentative, quarreling tongue, those are the things that I have to deal with. And so I like to avoid that at all costs. Anything that's going to make me emotionally tired or, physically take my mind somewhere where I don't want to have to be, and anything that consumes up my energy is not something I like to deal with. And that's what that quarreling tongue does. And I find that the older I get, the more I just want peace in my life. I just want to, stay calm. I just want peace, and I will do anything and everything at all costs to try to maintain that peace in my life. So when a quarreling tongue comes around to try to, take that peace from me, it drives me bananas. So, and I tend to get I will get angry about that. It will make me upset. Good morning, Angie, in real life. Good to see you. Let's see. I just saw you live in the midst of getting my day started. I wanted to say good morning and leave my thumbs up. I appreciate that so much, sis. I appreciate it. Thank you. Please, if you are new to my channel, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, become a part of the Talk family. And I'm so excited to see you all and to see you, Angie. I hope you have a phenomenal day. I know you all go live sometime in the morning, so hopefully I'll catch y'all a little later. Good morning, Levi. How are you this morning? Good to see you. Welcome. We are talking about the quarreling tongue this morning. That person that tends to like to argue with us and to those energy drainers and peace disturbers. So that is what we're going to be talking about this morning. One of the reasons that I also have a difficult time with the quarreling tongue is because I find that people who are I find them to be very argumentative. They are very opinionative. They are also sometimes, they tend to be very selfish, because a lot of times that quarreling tongue, they just want their way and they want you to give in. They want you to, come on board with what they want. And so I find that to be very self-centered. And so that sort of irritates me. And then I find that, they tend to be people who are always looking at the negative side of a situation. They tend to complain a lot. They tend to be complainers by nature. And so that also drives me a little bit up the wall about that quarreling tongue. Because if you're a positive person, if you're a glass half full kind of person, or you're a person that tries to, be grateful and have gratitude or be optimistic about life, that quarreling tongue is always looking for, a reason to be upset and to start a fight. And that can be very disturbing. And so they will often look for a button to push anytime, all the time. They'll look for ways to, get you upset, to stir you up, all of that. So whatever serves their purpose. And that is typically the mindset of a quarreling tongue, that person that's just always seems to be upset and irritated by something. They are ready to either get you to give in, they want you to give in, or they're waiting for you to walk away from the situation. So that's the type of person that we're dealing with. They will often have just an opposite or alternative opinion than yours, and they'll want to share it with you. They often will play the devil's advocate, right? The person that always just saying something negative to be saying something negative. Or so that's typically what that quarreling tongue does. So I want to talk about just a couple things that we can do and say to try to shut that quarreling tongue down and bring some peace back into our lives. And we'll go over just a couple different types of ways that they will come at us and some things that we can say back to them. The first one is the impatient quarreler. So this is that person that is always looking for an immediate answer. So they bring something to you and or they're upset about something and they want you to make a decision right away. They want you to talk to them about it right away. They want your opinion. They want your response right away. And we don't always have the words or the answers for them. So if you're the type of person that likes to process, that needs time to process what you are, dealing with or what you're hearing, you like to think over things, then, decide what, the potential outcomes could be, then you're going to have a difficult time arguing with this person because they want an immediate answer and they're not going to let up until you tell them what they want in the way that they want it. So instead of arguing with them, about why you need time or why you need to think about it or forcing yourself to make a decision that you may not be fully comfortable with, you can, in a calm tone as much as possible, let them know, I have heard you. I will take everything that you said into consideration, but I need to think about this and I will get back with you. And then give them a time frame. Like if I'll get back with you in a later this evening or tomorrow or in a week, whatever it is, however long you think it'll take you to process the situation, then let them know. But let them know I've heard you. I will take everything that you said into consideration, but I need to think about this. I'm not going to be able to give you an answer right now. So that will let them know you can go as long as you want to, but your energy is going to be wasted because I can't give you an answer at this particular time. I don't make decisions that fast. And this is something that I need to think about. And that will sort of calm them down, give you some peace because you've acknowledged what they said. You let them know you've heard them and you let them know that I'm going to get back with you on this. It may not be in the time that you want it to be, but I will get back with you on this. And that will sort of help to calm them down and help them to feel like they've been heard and that you are going to address their situation. So then there's the demeaning or disrespectful quarreler, right? This is that person that they get angry. They're impatient and they get angry because you're not telling them what they want to hear. They feel like you should have the answer or you're just not responding because you don't want to. And so they start getting disrespectful, right? So they'll start, saying things, maybe they'll start name calling to try to get a reaction out of you, hoping that you will give them a response. They will, start talking negative in some way, like you never do this, or you always do this, or, they're sort of throwing those type of words out to try to get you to feel bad about not giving them an answer or not responding to what they're saying. And now you're starting to feel offended, like, why are you coming at me like this, or or you're starting to get angry, by what they're saying. So here's something you can say. I realize this is important to you, but you're beginning to take this too far. So, say in a firm tone, hey, give them the look, like this is this is going too far. You're taking this too far, or this is beginning to get disrespectful. And just let them know, I don't want to disrespect you, and I'm not going to tolerate you disrespecting me. So before this gets out of hand, before, we go any further, let's, calm down and I will make a decision after I realize. I will make a decision, as soon as I think about this, or as soon as I have a little time to process it. So, shut them down in a firm way. Like, don't allow them to continue to, give you that, say those demeaning words or be disrespectful to you. Cut them off. Just say, hey, I hear you. I understand that this is important for you, and you want me to make a decision about this, or you want to talk about this right now, and I can't talk about this right now, or I can't make a decision about this right now. So I need you to stop. And, the more you say something to me, the more you go down this road, the less willing I'm going, the less willing I'm going to be, the less I'm going to be willing to give you what you want, to give you an answer, or be even willing to even talk about this. So let them know, like, this route is definitely not going to get you to the answer that you're looking for, or the answer that you want. And then that will sort of calm them down and sort of redirect their conversation or their tone or their voice to not be so aggressive or not be so demeaning with their words. So that's one thing you can do. So let's take a breather, and then we'll address this later. Okay. Like, you need to calm down about this. I don't need to get riled up about this, but we can talk about it in a little bit, or, as soon as I calm down or you calm down, whatever the situation is, and then we'll talk about this. So you can also let them know, sometimes people are coming at us with topics that are more than what we're expecting. So you can be chilling, sitting down somewhere, and all of a sudden somebody comes to you and they're bringing something to you that you didn't expect. That's heavy, that's heavy. And you can let them know, this is upsetting. This is upsetting. What you're telling me is upsetting. This is stressful, or I'm feeling overwhelmed about this. Or maybe they're talking to you about something that's just foreign to you. Like, you're just not even something that you're well versed on, or that you understand or are familiar with, or whatever. Then let them know, I need a minute to think about this, or I need a minute to process what you're saying to me, because this is a bit much, So be honest with them and let them know, because a lot of times people are throwing things at you because they've already had time to think about it. They've already had time to process it and feel however it is they're feeling about it, but you haven't. So if it's new to you and they want you to, talk with them about it, or they want you to, have some opinions and make a decision on it, and you're like, hey, hold on, this is a lot you're laying on me here. So let them know where you're at in your thought process. So that will help them to understand, and that you're not where they are about the situation, and that will, calm them down, or help them to, come up with words, or help them to get you where they are in their understanding of it. So that can make a big difference. So if it's something that's bothering you, this is shocking to me. You're laying this on me for the first time, and this is a lot for me to take in. So let them know, I realize this is an important matter, but I don't want to make a rash decision about it. And you may not think that I think that it's important, but I do. I just need time to think about it. I care about this issue. I care about you, or I care about, us making a decision about this as much as you do, but I process things differently, and I need a little time to, wrap my head around this, and then we can talk about it. So, but your demeaning words are not going to, help in that situation. There's not going to help me get there faster. You calling me names, you disrespecting me, or you, going about it this way is not going to help me process this any faster. It's just going to upset me, and then, make me not think about it at all. So, So those are just different things that you can come at the person with and say to them that will, help ease and kind of shut down that quarreling tongue. The other thing, set the pace, set the stage for peace. Set the stage for peace. When it comes to a sensitive topic, like when people are arguing, wanting to come at you, arguing with you about a sensitive topic, let them know up front, this is a sensitive issue for me. And I don't want to argue about it, but I'm hoping that we can discuss it and share our thoughts and opinions and ideas about it without it going left, without us having to argue about it. Because maybe it's a topic that y'all have talked about before and you're having a hard time. Staying calm about it, right? Because both of y'all may feel very strong about the issue, and how you feel about it may be different. One may feel this way, another person may feel the other way. And every time you all talk about it, it turns into an argument. So let them know, we need to talk about this. We need to discuss this. We need to come to some compromise on this. And I want us to be able to talk about it in peace, and to be able to share our ideas and our thoughts about it without us having to argue about it. So when you tell a person that up front, then that lets them know, okay, now you all are both working on trying to talk about this situation without arguing about it. But if you come at the person with an argument, or you say, well, that's why this and that, or I wanted us to make a decision about this, or I wanted us to talk about it, but you said this or you did that. And when you lead a conversation into that realm, then it's going to start an argument. But if you say, hey, we need to talk about this, we need to make a decision about it, we need to come to some level of compromise on it, but I don't want to argue about it. So if you let them know, that sort of sets the stage for peace. Okay, so now you're both working on, we know we need to talk about this situation, and we're both going to try to stay calm and level-headed about it. We're both going to give each other the opportunity to say and express what we need to say, and also give each other the opportunity to respond and listen to what the other person is saying, and see what kind of compromise, and ask, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to do? And then I'll share with you the things that I'm willing to do, so that we can come up with a decision about this. One of the things that I find that people argue about, one of the reasons I find that people argue is because each person doesn't have a good understanding of what it is, of what the issue is, right? Sometimes people argue with us because they think that we don't understand their feelings or their intentions behind the issue. So what I find is that it's important to ask questions. When that quarreler comes to you, it's important to sometimes ask questions so that you can get a better understanding of why they're arguing about it, or why it's so important to them. Because if you don't understand, and they're coming at you with all this passion and anger or whatever it is they're feeling, and you're kind of trying to figure out why they're coming at you this way, it's important to ask questions and just say, hey, what's at stake if things don't go the way you want to with this? Like, why is this so important to you? What is the issue? What's at stake? And that will help you to understand what they're thinking in their mind as to why this is such a big deal. Okay. Because and then also it may help them to understand that it's not such a big deal because there's not that much at stake about it. So it could help them realize that I'm arguing about something that's really not as important as I thought it was, but if it is important, it'll help bring you some clarification as to why they are arguing about it, or why they think it's so important, because they're realizing that if this doesn't happen, if we don't talk about this, if we don't make a decision about this, whatever it is that they're arguing about, or if we don't come to some conclusion about this, then this is going to happen, then this is going to be the result. And so just asking what's at stake if things don't go your way with this, or if we don't make a decision about this, what's at stake? Now you understand how they're feeling about it and what they're thinking about it. And that can make a difference in helping you, be more willing to talk about it or come to some conclusion or decision about it. And then ask them who all will be affected. Who all is this affecting if we don't talk about this? Or and it could just be affecting you and that person. It could be affecting multiple people around you that you don't even know because you don't realize that. Oh, I didn't realize that this was affecting this person or that person or these people around us. And then that also brings another level of clarity to the situation. Then you can ask them, what's the short term or long term impact? Like if we don't make a decision about this right now, who's going to be affected, or how is this going to affect us? Or if we make a decision about it right now, what's going to be the long term effects of us, making the decision? What's going to be the long term impact? So try to look at things both ways, ask them both ways. What's going to be the short term impact and what's going to be the long term impact if we do or don't make a decision about this right now, if we do or don't talk about this. So it's important to understand, try to understand why it's so important to a person. Another thing you can ask them is it important for you to be right about this situation, or is it more important for us to come together on this, right? Because that's a big difference. Do you just want to be right about it, or do you want us to come together on this and make some kind of decision? Or how important is this to you? Because, I need to understand where your intentions are with this, because maybe it sounds right now like you just want to be right and you're not worried about how I'm feeling about it. And so if that's your intention, is just to be right, well, then, I'm not going to be as willing to communicate with you about this. But if your intention is for us to come together on this issue, to talk about this issue, to figure something out with it, then we can talk about that. So ask the person and put them on the spot, because that will also maybe probably shut them down. If they're just trying to be right, it makes them think about, why am I arguing about this? Why am I so passionate about this? So that's just another question you can ask them. All this creates a better understanding, and it brings clarifications without assumptions and unfair expectations getting in the way. When people argue, they typically already have a thought about how they feel or how they want you to respond. And they have expectations of us that we don't even know that they have sometimes. And because they have these, that's why it's important to ask these questions so that we know what their expectations are of us. If they're expecting us to respond, let them know what do you want? What are you needing from me? What is it that you're needing to hear from me? What is it that you're wanting me to do that you're not seeing or that you're not getting, that's causing you to continually argue with me about this? Because maybe it's something that we've talked about before, and yet it keeps coming back. It keeps coming back. And so ask them, what is it that you're wanting from me that I'm not giving you, that this continues to be an issue for us? Or what is it that you're wanting me to do? What words are you needing to hear in order to be at peace about this situation that I have not given you? Why is it that you have not found comfort or peace, or this thing is continuously stirring up and brewing in your mind and in your thoughts, that we keep arguing about this because, I feel a certain way about it, you feel a certain way about it? Or what is it that you're unwilling to accept about how I feel? Because sometimes they're just not willing to accept that we feel differently about the situation than they do, or they're not willing to accept that we are not on board with what they want to do. And they have a hard time accepting that. So sometimes we can reassure them, hey, I don't feel the same way that you feel about this, or I'm not going to be on board with this the way you are. But that doesn't, make me think less of you. It doesn't make me not care about you, or it doesn't make me, feel any different kind of way about you. But I need you to respect that I feel differently about it, or that I don't see this the same way that you see it. And I don't want to have to argue or defend why I feel the way I do. I need you to accept it, and I need you to be able to live with it, and we move on about it. Because there are times, especially if you're in a marriage or if you're in a relationship, that you're just not always going to see eye to eye on things. Good morning, Harrison. Oh, just shoveled your car out. Ooh, of the snow. Ooh. I don't envy that. I'm glad you got I'm glad you got to it. Got your car out of the snow. Good morning, Chef. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome. Good to see you. We were talking about the quarreling tongue this morning, and how to shut down some of those ways that people like to start fights and start arguments with us. So we were talking about just different ways to do that. So I am finishing up. Actually, I hope that there were some points in there that you all can pick up on how to shut them down. But like I was saying, when you're married, when you're in a relationship, you're not always going to see eye to eye on things, and you have to, and sometimes people have a hard time with that. They have a hard time feeling that, if the both of you aren't on board with something, or if you both don't see eye to eye with the situation or see it the same way, that there's something wrong with the relationship. And there's not, there's not. Just because my husband and I feel differently about things all the time. We have our topics of discussion. We have our, issues that we are never going to see eye to eye on it. We know it. And we either don't talk about it, or we ignore, we just, move on. They typically aren't, issues that we'll discuss. Or if we are discussing it, we'll do that caveat. I know you feel this way about this, but I wanted to talk about this, or I want to share with you, I want to share with you how I feel about it. I know you don't think this is important. Like, for instance, birthdays. Like, I'll just give you all an example. My husband is not he doesn't think think that birthdays are a big deal. I, on the other hand, love celebrating birthdays. If you tell him happy birthday, he's good. But if you don't, celebrate my birthday with me, then I'm upset, because he doesn't feel the same way about birthdays as I do. I tend to think that they're more important than he does. And so we go back and forth. Probably in the beginning, early years of our marriage, we used to argue about it. Like, I don't understand why, I'd say, I don't understand why you can't just celebrate with me, or why you don't understand why I want to do this or do that for my birthday. And, or I feel like he's not doing enough. I don't see enough jubilation, in his face that it's my birthday. Right. And so we would argue about that. And he says, and I'd be like, okay. But now, over the years, I realize he doesn't value me any less, that, he doesn't value the day that I was born any less. He doesn't value the fact that, he doesn't value me any less just because he doesn't feel the same way I feel about birthdays. And so we had to come to some acceptance on that. And then I would make a bigger deal on his birthday than he wanted to have. Like, I don't need all this for my birthday. Just tell me happy birthday. Let's do something quietly. He tends to like to just go on vacation or go away for his birthday. He does not care for a party. And I like to have, celebrate with people and be around it. So that's something that we could argue back and forth about all the time. He'll say, well, I don't understand why people feel like they have to celebrate their birthdays for, a whole month, and it irritates him. Like, why do you care about how long people celebrate their birthday? If they want to celebrate their birthday for a year, solid, you don't know why a person's birthday is important to them. And so, rather than us going back and forth on that, we have come to the acceptance that we do not feel the same way about birthdays, and we don't argue about it. We do the things that each other has asked, and we are at peace about that now. So that's just a simple example as to, something that we could argue about that we're never going to see eye to eye about. Good morning, Nurse Kiki. Nurse Kiki's coconut cakes. Good to see you this morning. Welcome in. Jade's Way Jules, how are you, dear? Good to see you. True Fan to You says, my wife is a big birthday person also. Good for you. Good for you. Well, I hope that you honor the things that she likes to do on her birthday. Let's see. My husband loves big birthdays. Yeah. I mean, and it's just weird. Like birthdays is just one of those things that people can feel a certain kind of way about. I happen to think that birthdays are important because I know that I don't have to be here. I came into this world. My mother had a difficult time, having me. They told her that I was going to be a vegetable my whole life, that I had some issues going on in the womb, and they tried to get her to abort me on the day that she had me. And then when she decided that she wasn't going to have an abortion, they tried to get her to give me up for adoption. And she said, hey, whatever she is, no one's going to love her the way that I'm going to love her. And I want to keep her. And here I am, perfectly fine and healthy and everything else. So, so for me, I celebrate birthdays because I realize that, my life could have turned out very differently. I could, number one, not be here at all. And number two, I could have been raised by someone totally different. I could have ended up in some sort of system or in some sort of situation that would be different than what I am. So that's why birthdays are important to me. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that I got to grow up, in my family, and that my mom loved me enough to not care about what the doctor were saying, the advice that she was being given, and she trusted the Lord. She trusted her heart. And she had me and raised me, and I had a beautiful life. And here I am today standing before you. So that's why birthdays are important to me. So like I say, you don't understand, we don't always understand why people feel the way they feel, about their birthdays, because they may celebrate their birthdays or think that their birthday is important because, they may have almost lost their life that year. And so anytime that they make another birthday, they're excited to make another birthday because they thought they weren't going to make any more. And so they celebrate them big. So, and that's always my argument, that you don't know why birthdays are important to people. So celebrate with them, celebrate with them. And he's just like, ugh. But anyway, he's a good person. He's a good man, and he loves people, and he will celebrate with people however they want to celebrate. But it's not something that he's going to volunteer for. All right. So, but yeah, that's where we are. So whatever, like I said, whatever the situation is, whatever it is that you're arguing about, there are different things that we can do to try to keep peace in the situation. Chef says, yes, some milestones hit different. Yes, for some people. Absolutely. I agree with you. So when people say, oh, I want to celebrate my birthday this whole month, I'm like, okay, what are we doing each day? Let me know. I'll show up and celebrate with you. So people need to be loved. They need to be validated. And that's often what that quarreling tongue wants. That person that's, constantly quarreling with you, they are people who typically need to know that you care. And the more that we can show people that we care, that we love them, that who they are is important to us, that their thoughts are important to us, that the things that they care about are important to us, then that will help calm them down and stop them from quarreling so much. Often people quarrel because they think that what they feel and what they want and what's important to them doesn't matter to us. So the more that we can show them that they do matter, that what they think is important, that how they feel about a situation is important to us. But it may not be on the same level, but that doesn't mean that we're not willing to talk about it, that we're not willing to discuss it, that we're not willing to even make a move on it if it requires us to make a move. So the more that we can show people that the person who's arguing with us about it, then the more we can bring peace to the situation. Or even if we don't care about the situation, but we care about them, like, this is not important to me, and it's never going to be important to me. But that doesn't make how I feel about you any different. Okay. Just because I don't feel about this situation the same way that you feel about it doesn't mean that I don't care about you, that I care about you any less. And sometimes people have a hard time relating to that. They feel that if you don't feel the same way about this situation and this issue as I do, then you don't care about me. And that is not always the case. So the more that we can reassure people that how we feel on certain matters is no reflection upon how we feel about them, then that will help to shut down that quarreling tongue. All right. So I hope you got some good stuff out of there. Please go back and, catch the replay if you can. I appreciate it. And I will go ahead and say a prayer and we will head out of here for the day. Tomorrow, I'm putting out a tip, and then Friday, we'll be back here for class in the morning. All right. And then Saturday, oh my goodness, Saturday, I have a very special guest coming on. For those of you all who do not know, the fruitful wife and her husband will be on here this Saturday night. I'm super excited. This month, I am focusing on couples who have overcome obstacles. If you are a couple and you've had to face some issues and you've had to overcome some obstacles, that is what I am bringing forth this month. So it is the month of February. I decided to focus on love and couples and relationships and people and how people have talked their way through overcoming these obstacles. So the fruitful wife, she and her husband will be on here Saturday night. She has a channel. Please go check her out. Subscribe to her channel. She is just a jubilant personality, she and her husband, and I'm super excited for them to be here and to come on the show. So we're going to be talking about the things that the obstacles that they have had to overcome in their marriage. They have a beautiful family and a phenomenal show. She's a chef. She cooks amazing. She does all sorts of stuff on her channel. So you will love her. She and her husband are saved. They're Christians and believers. And they've been through some stuff. So we're going to talk about those things and how they've overcome it, and hopefully bring some inspiration to you all. Y'all know this is a channel where I'm trying to, keep you all elevated, motivated, and inspired to know that no matter what we go through in life, we can, communicate our way through these challenging things that life brings at us. And that is my goal and intention for this channel. So I will always try to bring people to keep you all uplifted and elevated and motivated to know that you can overcome anything. All right. So I'm going to say a quick prayer now, and then we'll head out. Chef BC, that's my daughter. Yes, her mother is here in the chat. Chef BC Cherry Bliss. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, I hope you will be here watching. I hope you will be here watching. Yes. All right, Father, we come thanking you this morning for your love and your grace, your mercy, all the blessings that you bestow upon us each and every day that we do not deserve. Lord, I ask that you give us the strength and the know-how and the willingness to deal with the quarreling tongue. Help us to look outside of what they're bringing to us and see what they're actually needing from within. That quarreling tongue is the person that typically needs our love. They need our attention. They need our words of affirmation. They need our comfort. They need peace. They're looking for validation. And help us to get outside of our anger and our feelings, to look beyond the things that they're quarreling about and look to their hearts. Reveal their hearts to us. Help us to see what it is that they're really needing in the midst of what they're quarreling with us about. Give us the strength to not want to, quarrel back, and to bring peace to all situations. Bring us comfort and allow us to be able to talk about issues without it turning into a debate, without it turning into an argument where we are, demeaning each other with our words, being disrespectful in our tone and in our thoughts and how we say things. Show us how we need to be like you. Show us more and more the words that we need to say that'll bring peace to the situation and to the relationship. Bring us together. Shut down that unwillingness that sometimes we allow ourselves to take on, and help us to be more willing to do the things that you have called us to do. We represent you. We are called to be the light in this world. And that means that we can't respond the way the world responds, and we can't respond the way the enemy would like for us to respond. And we have to put our emotions and our feelings and our thoughts about things aside and put you at the forefront of our thoughts and you at the forefront of our mouths. So filter our words, filter our thoughts, keep us calm, keep us in a state of mind that is elevating to you. Father, bless each and every person who is in the chat right now, those who'll be watching the replay. Help them to say the things that they need to say and be willing to deal with the person who is constantly quarreling with them in a way that they may not have been able to communicate with them before. Open up the lines of communication, break down the walls and the barriers that are preventing us from coming together as one. We love you. We thank you. These things I ask in your son, Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you so much for this time that you all give me so early in the morning. I truly do. I know that you don't have to be here. And I thank you for popping in and sharing with me and learning, being willing to learn with me. And I will see you all tomorrow and Friday and Saturday. All right. Y'all take care. Have a phenomenal day and be the light. Blessings to you.